All right, guys, hope everybody's well. So, we've learned how to set SMART goals. We've learned what 3 things typically set people back or cause somebody to quit their pursuit of their goal or habit. We have learned how to use visualization. I really got to slow that down and say it, or else it comes out like. All right. To use visualization towards our goals. And now we're going to talk about how to set ourselves up for success. Okay? Number 1, use the tracker as much as you can. Okay? That is the whole reason behind this whole course. And when you set a habit, you have to know if you're heading in the right direction or not. Excuse me. And if the things that you're doing are beneficial or if it's something that needs to be changed up. So when you're tracking your different daily activities and your mood, and you can see how they might affect each other, you start to get an idea of patterns. So definitely use the tracker as many days, ideally every single day, but we all forget. So use the tracker. Number 2, this is a hard one. This is why a lot of people just say, forget it. Be patient. It's hard. Like I mentioned earlier, I might not have mentioned it at all actually. A lot of clients ask me, how long something's gonna take. Like we said earlier, we did say this, that it takes about 4 to 6 weeks to reach a habit or for it to form. It could take longer depending on how embedded that habit is. But regardless of how long it takes, you have to be patient because it's a work. And what people clients ask me is, how long is it going to take? And the typical response is, I have no idea, because there's all these programs that say, hey, it's 6 weeks to a 6-pack and 10 days to 10 pounds and all this crap, So there's no telling. Everybody's different. The harder you work, the more effort you put in, the quicker you reach your goal, but again, being patient along the process. Because when we get impatient, even when we have small victories, we ignore them because we haven't reached, the new habit, the new goal, whatever it is. And that's another thing we have to take into account, is all of our small wins. And a lot of people will gloss over these things. I'm talking to them and, hey, what happened this week? Oh, this and this and this. All right, well, what do you think was the best thing? And we start talking and you find out geez, you had 6 big wins this week. I mean, that might be small, but it's huge because they're all 6 is a lot. So even if you have 1 win a day or 1 win a week, it doesn't matter. The thing is to remember that. We have a tendency to think in the negative and, I haven't gotten here yet. And flipping that into a more positive speak does help a lot. And it makes being patient much easier because you see the things that have happened. You can, identify these wins. And you have that as ammunition to make you feel good, to keep you going and staying patient. So that's kind of leading into the next thing, is talking in the positive, because let's not do that. A lot of times, a lot of people will get stuck in the negative. I'm guilty of doing it a lot of times myself, and I'm lucky that I have someone in my life that calls me on it, and it does help, which we'll get to next. Accountability, it's a huge thing. But anyway, talking in the positive, okay? It's really easy to get down on yourself if you've tried something for a long time and it hasn't worked, or you're not seeing the exact results that you want. But talking negative about yourself or the process, or just basically putting yourself down, putting the whole thing down, it's not going to make you feel any better. And as they say, we go where we think. So if we say, I'm never going to lose this weight, or I'm never going to make this money, then we never make it and we never lose it, right? And again, I have clients that will do all the things and everything's going great, but we'll get to a point and say, oh, I can't do this, I can't get through it, or I've done this before and I've gone back, I always go back to whatever it is. So immediately that mind shift, it is mind shift. The negative stuff is definitely mind shift, but the mindset shifts from basically thinking about this whole thing in the positive, and I'm doing great, and every week I've got this in my bag, and whatever it is, my workouts are getting better, or I feel better, or like I've got these new hobbies that are replacing bad habits, and so whatever it is, and then they get to a point where they might have been before and immediately start to say, oh, I can't go any further, I'm going to mess it up, and you start to see regression, right? So we can see it in real time, and I mean, just think about it, just do it yourself. Try keeping track of how many times you are negative about a situation, or closed-minded to it, or just not believing that it's going to happen, and then compare that to how many times you think about the positive. But the great thing is, all you have to do is just switch a few words and you start talking positively. Instead of like, I hope that I can make this, you start saying, I'm so happy I did make it, or I've made it, or I have it, or I'm thankful for, or whatever works for you. A lot of people say I am, or I will. I am is positive, like I am, then you have to say something good after it. That's the kicker, so it has to say positive. And then the last thing would be, have somebody, like I was mentioning, hold you accountable, call you out on it. It doesn't always feel good, no. I don't enjoy it. It makes me feel a little crappy that, I'm not practicing what I preach sometimes, but we're human, and, the propensity to be negative is much easier than to be positive. So having somebody that can hold you accountable is fantastic, because a lot of times if it's a close person or somebody that you pay, like a coach, they have a motivation for you to want to do this as well, because it's beneficial for everybody. So, having somebody that's in your corner, a lot of studies even show, like, if you just post it on Facebook or, whatever social media you use, and you say, hey guys, I'm doing this, if you wouldn't mind checking in on me every once in a while, and you might find you have 3, 4, 5, 6 people that check in on you, And again, all the studies show if you have an accountability partner, the number they show is 95%. They say people only miss 5% of meetings or goals or whatever is set if they have an accountability partner. And then it kind of goes down from there, from 95% to telling somebody about it, or putting it on social media and then not telling anybody about it. So if you keep it to yourself, they show a lot of times the chance of success towards the habit or goal is really very low. And if that's the case, you have to have a lot of internal motivation. And that goes back to if the SMART goal is relevant to you as well. But having that accountability piece really can't be understated how important that is. And if it's a coach, if it's a friend, family member, it doesn't really matter. It's just somebody that will stay on top of you. Because we all, even if you've been doing something for 20 years, it's easy to kind of get into bad habits and slip off. And, it's always good to have someone in your corner anyway. So these are things that you can do for yourself to set you up for success. Again, using the tracker, being positive, being patient, having an accountability partner. These things go a long, long way. And then, give yourself a reward at the end. It's always great to have something to look forward to. They say people that are older that plan vacations live longer because they have something to look forward to versus just sitting around. So it's pretty crazy how the psychology gets involved when you have a reward and it's kind of waiting there, and you have to earn it. So I hope these courses have done you all well. If you want to discuss any coaching with me, send me a message, please. Email. You can check my Instagram or TikTok. They're both at Movemental Wellness. And yeah, just remember to use that tracker, guys, because that's where you're going to be making or breaking, really building those habits. You know, it goes a long way. So enjoy it. I hope you like it, and good luck.